Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Real Legend of Gaming. We are here with Clash Royale, folks, and it is that time already. We just recently announced the balance updates on January 24th, and now we got the next round that will be released on February 12th. So let's get right into it, folks. Alright, so as we usually do, we're going to read off the balance updates to you guys, explain them briefly, and then we're going to create a deck with what we anticipate will be the next meta. So let's go right into these changes. As always, Clash Royale's approach is to balance out the game and make sure it's fair for everyone, and to make sure that every card has its usage. So with that in mind, with the recent meta being pretty much the Mega Knight bait deck, you'll notice a lot of cards in that deck have been nerfed, right? And also, you'll notice that there's a new card inside of this picture. Many people have discussed the leak yesterday. One day later, it's already revealed. So it's very good that we're able to get information on this new hero or new character, right? I'm playing a lot of Arena Valor, but we'll discuss that as well. So the first change, which I think everyone expected, right? The Mega Knight is being nerfed. The spawn and jump damage is going down by 25%. That's a lot. Deployment radius reduced. Deployment won't hit beyond bridge and river. So a lot of changes right there, because that card was very, very important in that bait deck, obviously, because it's called the Mega Knight bait deck. The next is the skeleton barrel, which is the second most important card in that deck. The skeleton count is going down from 8 to 6. That is a big change. We're talking about two less skeletons, which we all know it only takes one to get some damage done when not being, defended against. So that's a big change. This next nerf really hits my heart dearly, is the Knight. The Knight's being nerfed again. The hit points is going down by 6%. What are you guys doing to my Knight? It's like my only maxed out common card. But it is what it is, right? I guess it's being used in too many decks. It's in Zap bait decks as well. And it's a really good tank. I mean, compared to the Ice Golem, I'll go with the Knight anytime. Next up, and this is a card that I've been really feeling myself a lot lately, the Infernal Dragon. So the switches between targets will be slower. That's huge, especially when going up against like the 3 sets of minions. They're going to be able to take out the Infernal Dragon a lot quicker now. So that's a huge change. Next is the Valkyrie. The Valkyrie's hit speed is going from 1.5 seconds to 1.4. So that should be a bit of an increase to make her a little faster. And we might see her more in the decks now. I mean, again, she is a good counter against the spawn decks. She's great against Graveyard. So let's see. Show the Valkyrie some love, right? She used to be a great tank in the early stages of the game. Now you have the Bandit, which is the minimum dash range is going from 4 to 3.5. So that should be interesting as well with the change to the dash range. Let's see exactly how effective she could be. Now, this one here, this card is, I don't know. I mean, how broken is the card, right? I feel like it gets buffed like all the time. The Dark Prince hit speed is going from 1.4 seconds to 1.3, and the hit points is going up 5%. Somebody at Supercell really loves this card, or maybe it's modeled after someone, because they show it a lot of attention, and even so, the card still does not become prevalent. I mean, we've seen some flashes of it in the double Prince decks, but that didn't last too long. But let's see. I'm gonna try out the Dark Prince. I'll give you a little spoiler right there. And the next card is the newest card coming to Clash Royale, the Magic Archer. Interesting concept, and I want to know more information, right? Is it going to be a common? Actually, no, it says it right here. It's going to be a legendary, so that should be interesting. 4 elixir costs. That should be pretty good. Now, is this going to be used more than the wizard? Probably. 1 elixir less. And if it's like the archers, it's going to be pretty solid, right? Considering that instead of having 3 archers doing the damage, it's going to be 1 troop doing the damage. And I heard Mo explain in his video that it might be like Thorn from Arena Valor. I mean, Yorn. It might be like Yorn from Arena Valor. That might be a very good comparison. So Moat, you might have gotten this one right, buddy. All right, so now that we discussed the balance changes, let's get into some decks. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna head over to statsroyale.com, folks. All right, so if you head over to statsroyale.com, there's a section called Deck Builder, which allows you to choose which arena you want to create a deck for. Since I'm in Arena 12, I'm gonna create a deck for that, but I'm sure that most of the cards will work in Arena 9, 10, 11, and 12 as well. So let's start off with, I want to include in my deck the Bandit, because I think there's going to be an uptick. And I also want to include the Dark Prince. So right there, we're going to include those two cards in whatever deck it gets generated, right? Now we want to exclude the cards that got nerfed. So we're going to exclude the Mega Knight. We're going to exclude the Knight. We're going to exclude the Skeleton Barrel. And I feel like I'm missing a card. No, I think that's fine. All right, so that's it right there. So once you put in those conditions, Stats Royale will give you suggestions and tell you the stats based off of how many matches, how many crowns won per game, and a win rate. So the first deck that's suggested, right? And I'm going to show you everything that's suggested, and then we'll tell you which one I'm going to choose. And then afterwards, we'll show you a replay of me using that deck. So the first deck has the Dark Prince, the 3 Musketeers, the Ice Spirit, the Ice Golem, the Bandit, the Bats, the Elixir Collector, and the Zap Spell. And it has a 56.88% win rate based off 109 games with an average of 1.08 crowns per game. Not a bad deck. The next one, which really caught my attention because of that win rate, has the Dark Prince, 3 Musketeers, Battle Ram, Ice Golem, Bandit, Bats, Elixir Collector, and Zap. Similar to the other deck, with a win rate of 64.77%. That's pretty high. That's based off of 88 games, which is a decent amount of games, and it's 1.44 crowns per game. The next deck has the Musketeer, the Baby Dragon, Minions, Dark Prince, Goblin Gang, Zap, Fireball, and Goblin Barrel. Win rate is 55.88% based off of 34 games with an average crown of 1.26. Not too many games tested with this deck. I won't lie to you, I was intrigued because I saw Musketeer and Baby Dragon in it. However, the Minions, I mean, it technically could be like a Zap big deck because of the Minions, the Goblin Gang, and the Goblin Barrel. But I typically like to lean towards a deck that has a tank. So I might not be using this one, but this could work for people. I mean, it looks pretty good. The last one has the P.E.K.K.A. So you already know I see a P.E.K.K.A. I'm pretty much sold. Baby Dragon, Dark Prince, Electro Wizard, Bandit, Elixir Collector, Zap, or Poison. Win rate 63.46% based off of 26 games with average crowns of 0.96. Now, a couple things. The win rate is high, but it's only 26 matches, right? So somebody could have went on a crazy win streak. And it's getting less than 1 crown per match. So that means there could be a lot of draws. However, I like the deck composition here, but me personally, I think that the Infernal Dragons might be used less. So I don't think the Electro Wizard might be necessary to use in this deck. So I actually might substitute the E-Wiz with the Ice Wizard. Only because I feel like now there's going to be more Goblin Gangs. So you're going to need something that's going to have splash damage. You can even probably put in the Wizard in this deck, because there's going to be a lot of Skarmies now, because the Skarmy skeleton count has not been changed. There's going to be the Goblin Gangs, like I said earlier. There's going to be Goblin Barrels. So you might even need to put a log in deck again. So you can get a little creative with the decks. Just because there's a suggestion doesn't mean you need to use one of these decks. You can swap the cards around. But the whole idea is to have like a core. And this is pretty solid for you guys to use. So now that we got some ideas and concepts on the deck to make, we're going to show you now what I think will be the new meta. Alright folks, so after experimenting with decks, we came up with this combination here. So it has the Dark Prince, the 3 Musketeers, we decided to add the Valkyrie, the Ice Golem, the Bandit, Bat, Elixir Collector, and Zap. And we're going to show you 2 replays of how this deck is used. And folks, I like it a lot. The synergy is incredible. and it takes advantage of those 3 cards that will be getting changes. So let's check it out. All right, so as you know, with every elixir pump deck, you want to be able to cycle it as much as you can. So as soon as our elixir count hits 10, we're going to drop it. So right off the back, they're playing with a golem, right? And almost every video that I do, people usually ask, how do you play against a golem or a pump deck? So we're going to show you a replay right off the back against a golem. So we're going to use the Valkyrie. Now notice, they use a lightning spell on my Valkyrie and my elixir collector. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop down the 3 musketeers because I know they're not going to be able to cycle that lightning back immediately. So we'll take out the golem. We'll drop down the ice golem in front of our Valkyrie and 3 musketeers, giving us 2 tanks to be able to push. And we can throw in our bandit since she'll be able to attack everything in the path while everything's focused on one of the musketeers. And as you see, we took the tower down and defended against a golem successfully. So they dropped down the Mega Knight, which, 2 things. Wasn't expecting that inside of a golem deck, right? So that's why I was playing a little reckless like that. And 2, with that nerf, you're going to see a lot less Mega Knights. It's almost positive. So they play the Mega Knight. We'll drop down our Dark Prince just so that the Mega Knight doesn't hit the tower. And we could do some damage with the Dark Prince. And with that buff coming, should be even better. And then obviously we're going to use the Ice Golem to kite a little bit. So it serves its purpose. The Ice Golem is going to be massively used a lot more because of the Knight's nerf. 6% HP is a lot. So they're coming down with the Wizard, who I also think will be a card that will be used a little bit more, but maybe not because of the Mega Archer. So we got to see how that plays out. So we'll drop the Bandit down, attack the Wizard. Now we got the Valk in front of the Bandit, a little mini push. And on the other side, we push with the Dark Prince and the Bats. So with this deck, you have the option to be aggressive with lane pushing, or you can just sit back, cycle through your pumps, and attack with the 3 musketeers as much as you can. So, you know, a lot of options with it. And with the Ice Golem, it allows you to buy you some extra time. So right there, they drop down the Golem again. We use our Dark Prince. We got the Valk in there. We're going to do what we can against this Golem. It buys us a little bit time. We'll drop down the 3 musketeer because I needed to take out that Golem. And because they've been playing pretty aggressive on their push, I didn't think the lightning was in rotation yet. So we took out everything in that push. There goes the lightning spell we expected. I'm okay with that because we have the Ice Golem and 1 musketeer. We'll drop down a Valk. Should be able to take out that Ice Wizard. And we'll bring in the Dark Prince. A few seconds more, we probably would have had the other tower or did massive damage. So you see the deck works very well. It's synergy. Alright, so this next replay, we are going to show you a match against a Hog Rider deck with a Lumberjack and a P.E.K.K.A, right? 3 cards that have seen an uptick. You always see Hog Riders, but the Lumberjack with the buff and the P.E.K.K.A because it counters the Mega Knight. So right there, they caught us off guard with that Hog Rider Lumberjack push, so they did get the tower, which is fine, right? That's going to happen sometimes. And I show you these replays because I want to show you mistakes also so you can learn how to prevent them. So we push on the opposite lane. Now the E-Wiz did take out that Dark Prince. So expect an uptick in E-Wiz. I know early in the video I said they might not be used as much because of the Infernal Dragon, but then I realized they'll work very well against the Bandit and the Dark Prince. So the E-Wiz could have some value. So we've got the Bats with the Valk. We're bringing the Bandit. We're going to do a lot of damage. And I mean, that was pretty solid considering that the Executioner was there. Took out our Bats really fast, but the Valk is a decent tank and I cannot wait to see her used a lot more. She used to be one of my favorite cards in the beginning of the game. I remember pairing her up with my Sparky and Giant decks. Yeah, took it back there, right? Alright, so we dropped down the Valk in the bottom. She's defending against the Lumberjack and the Hog Rider. Follow up with the Bats. And the Dark Princess on the other side, taking apart the Knight and getting that tower out with a decent amount of HP left. And folks, remember, this is before the buff. So we got that tower. So now this match is even, right? We started off down 1-0. It is 1 up. So now we could just sit back, right? We already aggressively pushed. We'll build up our elixir count. I see that the clock is ticking, is going to double elixir time, so I want to drop down the pump before that happens, because I want to be able to get my 3 musketeer action on. So now we see the P.E.K.K.A approaching. Ideal time for the 3 musketeers. We're splitting behind the towers because I want the 2 musketeers to take down the tower on the left. We'll drop down the Valk. I have an ice golem with my musketeer on the right hand side defending. My only concern is that executioner. We'll bring out the Dark Prince. It's going to do some damage and tank for the musketeer. And the bandit will do some cheap damage against that executioner in the back. So now they drop down another P.E.K.K.A. We know for a fact that they do not have any elixir on that push. So we drop down our new 3 musketeers. We take out the P.E.K.K.A. We take out the Hog Rider. We take out the executioner. Dirty. So we drop down the Ice Golem and a Valkyrie in front of the double muskies. We got a Dark Prince and a muskie and a bandit on the left hand side. This is the aggressive lane pushing I was talking about. You have so many options. Bandit right there does a good job against that lumberjack. Since we felt pretty good about that, we dropped the 3 muskies to the side and we did a lot of damage to the tower. Bats took out the Hog Rider and we got the win, folks. So that's how you can play that deck. Showed you 2 different ways to use it against 2 popular decks. Alright, so that's it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely would appreciate it if you slap that like button. We covered the balance changes that are coming out February 12th. We showed you how to create a deck on Clash Royale, which I love that site, and I'm going to be putting up a guide on there after I post this video. And folks, we also showed you a deck that could be used in the new meta. So folks, I think a lot of value in this video. If you're still watching, then definitely subscribe for future Arena of Valor, Clash Royale, and instead of me doing just rules of survival, I'm just going to do battle royale games. So we're going to see rules of survival, we're going to see Fortnite battle royale, and we might see some PUBG as well. Alright, so other than that, folks, appreciate the support. Peace out.